People, what is going on? Back on the green chair, and it's good to be back as well. How's everyone doing? Hopefully you guys are all doing very, very well. Don't forget, hit that subscribe button if you guys are new to the channel. Remember, we are trying to get to 40,000 subscribers by the end of the year. We're definitely going to do it. Also, don't forget, give me a follow on Instagram, especially if you want to see all the behind the scenes stuff at these boxing events that I cover. Instagram handle is Ade Oladipo. We are back, peeps. We got back yesterday evening around 10 p.m. It was a bit surreal because I was on a flight with Barry Hearn, Nisa Sowland, Chris Eubank Jr. And we were all chatting about the event, obviously the main event as well, AJ's reaction. And it was good to chat with boxing people about exactly how they felt everything played out and went down. I got a bit of memorabilia from the event. And these are very, very rare, in the sense that I've never seen anything like this before. Obviously, these are the microphone socks, I think they're called, that go on top of the microphones. And when I say very rare, what I mean is because normally it either says Sky Sports or DAZN or TalkSport. It never normally says the event. And I saw it and I thought that was pretty cool. So yeah, I've got this. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it. I could chuck it on my microphone. I could put it on that. Yeah, we could do that. But yeah, I thought, let me grab those. There was only 6 of them. So yeah, I thought, let me grab it quickly. And someone was lucky enough to save me one, which is pretty cool. All right, where should we start? What should we talk about first, peeps? Let me talk about my experience very quickly in Saudi Arabia, comparing it to my experience in 2019 when I went there for AJ Ruiz. The country's moved on a lot. In saying that, I think where we were before was in Diriyah, I think, for AJ Ruiz. Where we were, obviously, for the fight on the weekend was in Jeddah, which is supposed to be a lot more cosmopolitan. But I can definitely see Saudi Arabia turning into, maybe not extreme as Dubai, but something like that in about 5 or 10 years. Definitely. We went to bars and restaurants, which are very, like, if you didn't know, you would have thought you were in a Dubai without the alcohol, obviously. And that's something that, if they do want to get the tourists in, because the weather's almost too hot, but people might like it. If they want to get the tourists in, especially the ones from the UK and the US or whatever, then they probably are going to have alcohol in hotels, exactly like Dubai does. But yeah, look, my experience in Dubai was fantastic. In Saudi Arabia was fantastic. I enjoyed it. I landed on Wednesday straight to work immediately. Obviously, as you're there for DAZN, you're speaking to everyone, Usyk, AJ, Eddie Hearn, everyone that was there. It was cool as well to see Evander Holyfield and who else was there? Roberto Duran. I mean, that's cool, right? I mean, fucking hell. Evander Holyfield and Duran sort of ringside, and I had a couple of words with them. But look, you guys don't want to hear about that. You want to hear about the main event. Look, I said that I thought, I'd done so many videos on it, and I said, look, gun to the head, Usyk will probably win. Did I want AJ to win? Yes, of course, I wanted AJ to win, but Usyk's the superior boxer, and this is a boxing match, you know. Was it a better AJ? Yeah, I thought it was a better AJ. I thought the first 4 or 5 rounds were very good and very close. And, you know, you look ringside and you ask all the boxing people, how you scoring this? Because I'm emotionally too invested in it. And everyone was like, AJ, like pointing AJ. And I was like, really? Because I felt like Usyk was just almost starting to, again, go through those gears. Like, I could see it. It's weird how I could see he was going through those gears. I could actually see it. And I was thinking, AJ's going to need to land something on this guy to stop him going through those gears, because I could actually see it happening. And AJ wasn't really able to do that. At times, he clearly, you know, he was clearly going to the body. That was obviously their game plan. And at times it worked. There was a couple of low blows. I didn't mind that. This is the dark arts. I said it. He's going to need to do those kind of things. Low blows. It's not right, but it happens in boxing. Rabbit punches, all those things were important to try and slow this guy down. But ultimately, he's just in there with the pound for pound number 1. That's it. He's in there with the pound for pound number 1. That guy's fucking engine isn't normal. It really isn't normal. I haven't seen the punch stats, but his output must be, it's crazy. From round 1 to 12, this motherfucker doesn't stop moving. Like, does not stop moving. Bear in mind, he's carrying 16 stone plus, doesn't stop moving. I was speaking to Spencer Oliver, like we was all sort of discussing it after, and Spencer, who was a bantamweight, I think, Spence Oliver, European bantamweight champion. He was like, there aren't middleweights that do that. You have to go down lower to see people that constantly do not stop. Like, there wasn't a time where Usyk thought, okay, I'm going to plant my feet because I'm tired and let's just have it. It was dum, 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 dum. And that must just wear you out. Like, mentally, like, how can I stop him? The only way you can stop someone like that is denting them or putting your whole body on them. Almost a bit like what Fury does to Wilder, especially the first two fights. Like, Fury literally just leaned all that 19 stone, 20 stone frame on Wilder and just took Wilder's legs. If Fury fights Usyk, Fury's going to have to do that to him. We'll talk about that in a bit. Obviously, AJ had that fantastic round 9, and it was a good round 9. The best round AJ's had in the 24 rounds that they fought each other. But again, it just wasn't enough. But it was a good round. It was so difficult for me because I'm ringside, and right behind me is Usyk's team, Usyk's wife, Lomachenko. Literally right behind me is about 20 seats of the Ukrainian support that Usyk brought. And I thought in my head, I'm doing an interview after with the winner. I can't, like, if I'm doing an interview with Usyk, I can't jump up and scream and shout every time AJ lands a punch. I've got to be very, very reserved. So in that round 9, I was like, come on, AJ, come on, AJ. Eddie Hearn got off his seat and ran round right to where AJ's corner was at the end of round 9. He knew it was a good round, and he was obviously going to almost scream instructions to Robert Garcia and Angel Fernandez, but out of respect, he almost just watched instead. But he was there almost trying to tell AJ to put it on him. But the instructions from Robert Garcia I thought were actually pretty good. Usyk came out of that round, and I'm thinking Usyk's legs are gone here. Like, I'm thinking AJ's got to jump on him. He's taken a couple of big shots to the body, a couple to the head. He dominated from the first second. And I'm thinking, wait a minute, did round 9 not just happen? Did I miss something? This motherfucker got up off the stool and dominated. And the only thing, there's two fighters that spring to mind that have done something in recent times. One, Floyd against Sugar Shane Mosley, when Shane cracked him. And I'm thinking, and Shane's thinking, I'm going to jump on him here. Jump on him. Floyd got out and just dominated. The other one is when Andre Ward fought Kovalev, and Kovalev cracked him, put him down. And Kovalev's probably thinking, I'm going to jump on you. And Andre Ward again, just almost, I don't know what it is with these elite level fighters. It's almost like their composure. So they go back and they're like, okay, it happened. Let's just go and win the round. Andre Ward did it. Floyd did it. And again, it's levels, isn't it? Usyk did it. And Usyk didn't just win round 10, he won round 10, 11, and 12. I mean, if you were scoring the fight, just round for round, it's very difficult to score the fight, but if you're scoring the fight up until round 9, you're thinking, wait a minute, this could be interesting. If AJ's got anything left in the tank, it could be interesting. Usyk slammed that door shut and was like, no. 10, 11, 12, won it. And not only won those rounds, won them convincingly. Like, AJ's clearly blowing, he's gassed, he's taking punches. I was on a plane with someone, and I don't know who this guy is, but we were talking in the lounge, and then we was sat next to each other on the plane, and he was like, round 10 was the most that AJ's ever been hit in a round before. Ever. Ain't that incredible? So bear in mind, Usyk got beat in round 9. He came out in round 10 and landed more punches on AJ than anyone has ever landed on him before. Now, I haven't double checked that stat. Don't know if it's 100% accurate, but if it is, it shows how good he is, honestly. And this is no shame on AJ. You just got beat by the better man. Like, people like to break these things down and said, AJ should have done this and should have done that, all these so-called boxing experts. No. Sometimes you just come up against someone that's just better than you. What can you do? You've trained your ass off for 10 months. You've seeked out a trainer that you think, is going to have a game plan. You've done that. You've locked yourself away. AJ's done less media in the lead up to this than any time before in his boxing, or at least since he ascended into a world champion. So everything's correct, right? Sparring, everything. You've done everything you could. When I spoke to AJ, and, he said last time out, maybe, things didn't go right. This time you've got the team you wanted. Angel Fernandez, Robert Garcia. You trimmed the fat off. Like, AJ normally has quite a lot of people, quite a lot of hangers-ons. Not hangers-on, I mean, look, they're friends and family, but it's a lot to deal with. Trimmed that fat. Trimmed it. Literally, there was only 6 or 7 people around AJ all fight week. Still not enough. Still not enough. Too good. Honestly, too good. A lot of you guys obviously want my reaction to what happened after the fight. I was doing my close for DAZN, and all I heard was boom. I was like, what's going on? I could hear some noise in the background, but obviously I'm trying to be professional. I didn't turn around. And I just then I thought, fuck it, I've got to turn around. And I see AJ throw the belts down. And now I've seen the full video. Obviously I was there when he took the mic and went on a bit of a rant. Look, that was wrong. Everything there was wrong for me, everything. It was a moment of madness. And look, it's one where the whole team's gonna regret it. AJ clearly has regretted it. I think I've seen his Instagram post, and I think he mentioned something in the post-fight press conference. I wasn't at the post-fight press conference. It was wrong. To get the belts and do that was wrong. It was just a moment of madness. And I almost feel like it was just, like all the stress, and not just the stress of the last 10 months, but just the stress for the last few years of being almost perfect, right? I mean, AJ hasn't put a foot wrong. I mean, there are no bad headlines about AJ. AJ is almost that perfect sort of ambassador, perfect athlete, perfect brand ambassador, hence why brands attach themselves to him. And it was almost just like, I've just had enough. It was almost like him screaming. And we've all done it. We've all had a moment of madness, but the difference is none of us do it in front of thousands of people and millions of people watching. He had that. I mean, I've seen other boxers have it. We've been watching boxing this long. I've seen so many boxers do what AJ did. I've seen it. I'm not trying to give him an excuse. I've said it was wrong. And when he started talking, Chisora came up to me, and think about how crazy Chisora is. And Chisora was like, what's he doing? And I was like, Chisora, get in there and stop it. Like, you do something. You're close with AJ. Everyone was just almost standing off. It's funny because AJ actually he was looking for a mic to grab. He went up to Andy Scott. Andy Scott does all the post-fight interviews for Sky. Andy Scott said no and kind of hid his mic. AJ then grabbed Michael Buffer's mic. That's the mic he grabbed. So no one really wanted to give him a mic, but obviously Michael Buffer allowed it, but AJ took it off Michael Buffer. And then he just started going on what was a rant. I mean, there's no two ways about it. But it was just, as I say, I'm going to repeat it. It was just a moment of madness. That's all it was. I think people were making it out to be some craziness. He just fucked up. We've all fucked up. He fucked up and he's regretted it immediately. I think him breaking down at the post-fight press conference was almost just someone that is so bitterly disappointed with himself, and he shouldn't be. It's crazy, to think AJ, since Charles Martin, has had back-to-back world title fights. That's all it's been. Stadiums, arenas, traveling the world. The pressure I can't imagine the pressure. I was watching him ringside when he came out, and you guys know I'm an AJ fan, and I'm nervous. I feel pressure. Do you know what I mean? I've got to do my little piece to camera, and I'm pressure. I can't imagine what these boxers go through. And I guess only boxers, maybe other people who work in fields of pressure, can understand that amount of pressure. And he's had that amount of pressure since, 2015. Just constant pressure to deliver, constant pressure to be that guy, constant pressure to say nothing wrong, constant. Mate, I just think it was, honestly, just a moment of madness. What next for both? Let's talk Usyk first. What next for Usyk? Tyson Fury, I went into the dressing room. You know what the thing is about Usyk? He's such a nice guy. When someone beats up the guy that you like, you almost want to not like him, but I can't because he's so nice. He went into the changing room after, and there was a circle of his closest people, and he went around individually and just shook their hands and signed T-shirts and autographs this and autographs that. The Prince came in, very respectful, talking, and then when I did the interview with him, just so nice. It was like, okay, Ade, let's go, DAZN. And I was like, well, he knows my name. I was like, what the fuck? But then he's just such a nice guy. Look, he only wants Tyson Fury next. Oleksandr Usyk wants to go down as one of the greatest fighters ever. That's all he wants to do, right? I mean, when you speak to his team, that's all they're saying they want now. He's 35. I don't think Wilder excites him. I don't think Joe Joyce Parker winner excites him. The only thing that excites him is him fighting the #1 heavyweight, and the #1 heavyweight is Tyson Fury. He knows if he were to beat Tyson Fury, and become undisputed in 2 weight classes, plus you add the amateur record, don't split the 2, add it, there's an all-time great discussion for him. Undisputed in 2 weight classes, all-time great discussion. And not just undisputed, but beaten the person. That's why he wants Fury, because he wants to beat the person. Doesn't want a vacant belt and he fights the winner of someone that picked up the vacant belt. No. He wants to beat the person to become undisputed. That's all he wants. Fucking hell, this guy's good, you know. This guy's good. Very, very good. Very, very good. For AJ, mentally, it's weird because I want AJ to be active and I think they're talking about him coming back in December. I mentally just want him to have a bit of a break. I mean, have a break. Like, almost a bit like what Wilder's done. So Wilder, after Fury, almost went into incognito mode. Couldn't find Wilder, right? Disappeared, right? Couldn't find him. Mentally have a break. And Wilder's done that. And now he feels a bit refreshed and he's come back and we'll see what happens. I almost want AJ to do that. If not, then look, there's so many fights out there for him. So many. You can list them all. I mean, Hrgović is there now, and I think Hrgovic's stock has dropped a bit. We'll talk about that. There's Wilder. Helenius could do Wilder, you know. There's tons of fights. There's tons of fights. So look, I mean, we'll see. We'll see. He might have endeared himself a bit more to the public by showing that emotion. You know, I feel like AJ has almost been like, there's this thing about AJ where you feel like you don't really hear from him. Like, you don't really see emotion. I think we saw it now. So, you know, the public, you know what they're like to kick you when you're down. I feel like some might feel, you know what, bit of emotion there finally. Very quickly, co-main event, Hrgović, Zhang won that fight by 2 or 3 rounds. I'm just not having anyone tell me Hrgović won that fight. Zhang won that fight. Yes, he let the last couple of rounds slip, but Zhang won that fight. Just score it round for round, Zhang won it. I just thought Badou Jack got beat by Rivera as well. I did. Callum Smith looked really exciting. Callum Smith, yeah, like, you know the pressures of fighting. Quick story, I'll tell you a quick story after this as well. But the pressures of fighting are immense. I feel like Callum Smith is so lucky that he's got people around him in the lead up to all these big fights that he knows and he trusts with his life, and that's his family. Liam Smith was there, Stephen was there, Paul was there, and his dad was there. He can't have a better, like, if I'm going to war, that's the people I want with me. The people that I know, this isn't about money or about to be seen on camera. This is just my brothers. This is just family. And he's got that. I interviewed Callum. I went to the hotel where he was staying, the Casablanca Hotel, really nice hotel in Jeddah. And I had my slippers and they broke. I don't know how, but my slippers broke. So I was doing the interview barefoot. Paul Smith saw that I was doing it barefoot. He said, "What the fuck are you doing?" I said, "My slippers broke." He went upstairs and got me a pair of trainers. Like, went upstairs and got me a pair of trainers and socks. Legends, honestly, legends. Congratulations to Ramla Ali as well. Ramla Ali is not known as a puncher, but congratulations to her, big win, first female fight in Saudi Arabia. It won't be the last now. There was 2 young Muslim ladies that were there as well, commentating on the fight, which I thought was incredible. But look, overall, great experience. I'll do a few more videos throughout the week. Loads of fights happened. There's been some big fight announcements as well. Dimitri Bivol will fight Ramirez in the UAE in November. Obviously, we've got GGG Canelo coming up September 17th. I heard a rumor about Dillian White versus Daniel Dubois. But look, for now, guys, we are gone. AJ, head up. Put your head the fuck up. You got beat by the pound for pound #1. This isn't Ruiz. This isn't you getting beat by, you know, someone that you shouldn't get beat by. You were an underdog going in. You tried your hardest, and that's all we asked for. That's all we asked for. And in the end, the best man won. That's it. Guys, peace and love. Take care.